of best possible way to measure. In the past, there's been an over-reliance on profitability. Of course, it's very difficult when an organization is profitable, everybody begins to think that it is performing very well. But if your profitability is not anchored by the rest, it means the performance may not be as sustainable. Sustainability of the performance is under huge question. Yeah, let me just list these ones and then I'll switch on the projector. Yeah. We must not forget the reason why an organization exists. Organizations don't exist just for fun. They exist for a purpose. And until it fulfills its purpose, then we may not deem an organization to have performed. So organization exists to achieve a certain level of performance. So here is the definition of performance. Now, after this, we are going to be able to discuss about employee performance. Maybe not today. But I don't want you to confuse organizational performance and employee performance, because that's what sometimes students do. But as HR, you must know, especially when we link this, what we covered the other time, when we said HRM link with organization strategy. When you look at HRM link with organization strategy, that's what we are talking about. So to evaluate performance, you need to have different variables and initiatives that can be analyzed. Sometimes you can have all of them, sometimes some of them, but what will happen is to measure profitability, productivity, you'll find that the formulas are there. Engineers have had their own formulas that measures productivity. Accountants have got formulas that measures profitability most of the time. To measure employee satisfaction, there are certain metrics that can be used to assess the extent which people are happy or are not happy. Okay. To measure customer satisfaction, there are also certain metrics that when you ask customers, the responses that they will be able to give you can give you a picture on the extent which customers are satisfied or not satisfied. Majority of these metrics have already been developed by scholars. We may not necessarily reinvent the wheel to develop our own metrics to measure performance. They are already there. Perhaps what might be needed sometimes would be to contextualize some of them. But in general, metrics have already been developed. What we just need to do is just to identify specific ones, because sometimes you can have so many metrics, some of which you think may not be relevant to your organization. So you can just select manageable ones and those that are critical to the context of the organization and utilize them. But as I said earlier on, performance, you need for you to understand or know the extent to which your organization is able to achieve performance metric. Critical to it is your ability to measure. So these are the things that you can use to measure. For financial performance, you can use the, as we said here, this is primarily an indicator of organizational success and includes profitability, revenue growth, and return on assets, and return on equity, and return on investments. Maybe in the next class I can have some specific examples of these. I think, or else I can just extract them and send them to you via email or even post them on the portal. We may not have time to discuss them in detail, but those people that are measuring accounting, much of what they spend time doing at some point is to understand how to do these calculations. So the financial metrics helps assess the organization's economic health and its ability to sustain operations and invest in growth. Now, operational efficiency is a variable that measures how well an organization optimizes resources, labor, equipment, and material to deliver a product or service. You can use the production efficiency, cost per unit, cycle time, and waste reduction. You will agree with me that there are cases where you can have a manager who is sustaining operations in an organization, and once he or she leaves, another manager comes in. You may find that the new manager that comes in may not always maintain the standards, and unfortunately may also not always know that he or she is failing to maintain standards. Sometimes the secret behind it is the inability to define what you need to measure. If you are not measuring and keeping record of the measurement results and acting accordingly, it will be very, very difficult for you. So, productivity, particularly for employees, which will be a bigger topic in the next presentation. Here we're looking at employee satisfaction, but here the employee performance is critical variable in the organization's success, and key indicators include employee output, absenteeism rate, retention and engagement levels. And high productivity usually correlates with higher overall organizational performance. Customer satisfaction is also an important aspect that cannot be ignored in the process. If you are to satisfy customers, they are perhaps what we can do. This first hour, I'll just sort of like introduce, and then the second hour, after I give you about a 5 minutes break, I can now zero in on the specific details of the matrix, so that maybe we can all be on the same page. I think it's going to be very important. You'll see that to measure customer satisfaction, what you can do, you look at things like customer retention rates. Okay, you can have net promoter score, customer lifetime value. These will provide insights into the effectiveness of an organization's products and services. Okay, innovation and adaptability, you can measure that one through new products launched. Say, for example, if you have spent 5 years without launching any product, it means you're not doing well on innovation. Okay. Patent filed, and organization's ability to adjust to new market conditions. And quality of products or services is also another measure. So product quality is crucial for maintaining market share and reputation. And here you can look at the key defects, customer complaints, product returns, and compliance with industry standards. They are also very good measure in that regards. It is very important for you to be able to understand the key performance indicators, to understand the balance scorecard, to understand the lean management. What these are different initiatives that have been established to assist you to measure performance of your organization. You are guided by these ones. You can choose one or two. Mostly other organizations can choose one. For example, you can decide that our performance initiative is going to be a balance scorecard. I don't know whether you've heard about the balance scorecard before. If you haven't, then we're going to be able to look at these initiatives in detail so that you understand them, because they're very, very important. I'll just go through them as part and parcel of introduction, and as I tell you in the next hour, I'm going to zero in one by one in a little more detail. So, for example, you can come up with KPIs. You want to know whether or not you are attaining the minimum performance requirements. As you strive to know that, you can use KPIs. So KPIs are specific measurable metrics that organizations use to track progress towards strategic goals. You can look at areas like financial health. Okay, are we doing well on financial? So you can say our finances, these are the following KPIs. Our operational efficiency, these are the following KPIs. Our customer satisfaction, here are the following KPIs. So it's like you have the KPIs and you are measuring how the KPIs are performing. Then when you compare with your target, you can, and not only target, but also best practice. It's like there are standards that are set to say if an organization is performing to the expected standard, it must reach the following in terms of key performance indicators. So if you are able to meet anything less, you know for sure that you are not performing according to standard. You know for sure that you're not performing according to standard. If you meet anything else closer to within this, you're within your average. Others have come up with balance scorecard as an initiative. This one has got the following that you measure financial performance as well as non-financial metrics. For example, it has internal processes, customer perspective, learning and growth. It has also become very popular, particularly translating vision into strategy. There is also lean management. It's an initiative that aims to enhance operational efficiency and eliminate unnecessary steps, improving workflow and ensuring better resource utilization. This one is better used for manufacturers. Manufacturers, if they want to see the extent to which they can improve performance, they lean more on using the lean management. Another initiative is the Six Sigma. It's also another initiative. The Six Sigma, it's interesting. When you look at it, you have got 5 components, although we call it Six Sigma. It's a data-driven methodology, usually focusing on reducing defects and improving quality. It uses statistical tools and techniques. The major reason for its existence is that you want to allow or minimize variability in the processes. You also want to increase the consistency. In other words, the Six Sigma will allow you to say if you produce a particular level of production in terms of quality standard, it must not fluctuate. It must not be that, for example, today you've done well, tomorrow you've done poorly. I can give you an example of a restaurant. You don't want today your food is well cooked. Tomorrow it's half cooked. The next day it's poorly cooked. The other day is very well cooked. That's variability. You must be able to establish a standard and maintain it. And you can use the Six Sigma to help you. You also have others which we call agile methodologies. They are originally used in software development, and it is now applied broadly to impose responsiveness and flexibility in organizations. Agile promotes iterative work cycles and collaborative teamwork, and it enables organizations to adapt strictly to change and improve performance. You can also have employee development programs to assist in the same. Another initiatives, I think we can look at it from that angle. What I'll do is I would like to go back before I talk about total quality management. I want to go back also a little bit to now begin to look at the details and nitty-gritties of these ones. So I'd rather be able to give you some notable examples of those ones so that you can appreciate them. We'll start with the first two, the performance indicators and operational efficiency. We'll look at them and then we'll go to the next set, look at them in detail. But maybe there's a question or comment. I hope you understand what we're doing here. HR plays a very critical role in this area. We start with the finance one, and then we can look at the others. So let's look at these three for now. Looking at this as a matrix in detail. Yeah, I presented the matrix, but I want us to go into detail. What you see is that the other initiatives that I talked about, like the Six Sigma, particularly the lead, the KPI, and the balance scorecard, and different others, all have the financial component. So financial measure as the measure of productivity or performance cannot be ignored. In other words, you may not have other metrics minus finance if it is an organization. So you must have finance plus others. In the past, organizations were only having finance as the only reliable measure of performance. But lately, other initiatives that have followed have put it the other way. It's the other way around. Finance plus other metrics. Okay, so financial performance is crucial indicator of success and health. It reflects an organization's well-being. It shows that the organization is utilizing its resources very well to generate profits and also sustain operation. Because the problem is that if you do not generate profit, you either have to depend on your investors to keep injecting money into the business for that particular business to continue to thrive. Now that is not sustainable. I don't know whether I gave an example here last time about an investor called Marble Hills. Did I give you an example here? Marble Hills University. Yeah. The investor called Marble Hills. It has operated for some years but has not been profitable. As a result, shareholders are tired of injecting money into it. So they closed it, and currently they have just written the National Council for Higher Education to tell them that they have ceased operating. So why? Because they were not being profitable, so they will not sustain operation. We must understand a business as something that an entity which owners inject money. When money is injected in the entity, the expectation is that that money must make its own money continuously for that entity to continue to operate. That's number one. Number two, for that entity to grow. But when the owners inject money and the money that is in the business does not make another money, then you have shortfall of funds. Then it means you need the shareholders to continue pumping in money, which in most cases may not have that money to continuously be able to pump in for a prolonged period of time. You're getting the point? Yeah. So that's why finances have become a very strong element that has to be taken very seriously. That's why we're saying that finances reflects how well an organization is utilizing its resources to generate profit and sustain operation, providing insights into its economic stability, growth potential, and ability to meet the needs of stakeholders. So strong financial performance allows organizations to reinvest in their operations, grow their business, and maintain competitiveness. Remember that in operating environment there is competition. So if you don't have the financial muscle, you're going to fall off. So how do you measure profit? There, at first I just gave you in brief, but I want you to now look at it in detail. Growth profit margin. It measures the percentage of revenue that exceeds the cost of goods sold. Sometimes we just call it gross profits. Okay? You have collected money. Okay, you have inventory. The inventory, you've made sales. You've collected. What you've collected, does that exceed the cost of inventory? If it does not, then it's a loss. If it does, then it's a profit. Operating profit margin looks at how much profit is generated from operations, excluding the operating income and expenses. Net profit margin measures the overall profitability after all expenses, taxes, and interest rates are deducted from revenue. It provides a comprehensive view of how much profit the company retains for its total revenue. So, there are cases where you may have a big profit margin, gross profit, but the net profit is small because you have consumed expenses. Under those circumstances, you may need to rework around and reduce expenses so that you increase the net profit, so that you come up with an overall profitability. Then you can be sure that you are profitable. And that's where now the earlier assertion that I made that when you are profitable, you are better off because you can sustain operation can count to be true. Revenue growth is also another measure. We are under profitability. Okay, at first, your total sales were 50 million. But if you're going to remain on 50 million for 10 years, then your revenue should grow it. You want to start with 50 million, and in a 3-year period, to translate it to 150, 200 to 300 million in terms of growth in revenue. It's also a good measure. Revenue growth measures an increase in operational sales over a specified period. Now, when you are on a sustained revenue growth, it means you are growing as a business. You are increasing your market share and your demand is increasing. You can use the following year over year growth. Company revenue performance over a full year, revealing trends and overall growth trajectory of an organization. On compound annual growth, where you used to assess the growth rate of revenue over multiple years, providing a smoother measure of long-term trends.
So can you come again year over year?
It's like you're looking at your revenue in 2022, and then you're looking at it in 2023, and you're looking at it in 2024 to see the progression, to assess the extent which each year your revenue has grown. Yeah.
And compound?
It's where now you take so many years and you make a calculation to see whether over that particular period of, say, 5 years, there's been a difference. Maybe a period of 10 years to see whether there's been a difference. Yeah, so the return on assets measures low efficiency. Sorry, how efficient the organization uses its assets to generate profits. The machinery, the equipment, the people. Okay. It is calculated by dividing the net income by total assets. A higher ROA indicates that the company is utilizing its resources effectively to produce income. For example, people are assets, but if you have got too many people, you would expect to also produce them to produce substantial revenue, isn't it? Yeah, but if the too many people that you have, the revenue is small. Say you've got 10 people, but they are producing, uh, they are generating profit, which three people can generate, then you're not being efficient. Return on equity, here you are assessing how effectively the organization is using shareholders' equity to generate profit. It is calculated by dividing net income by shareholder equity. For example, high ROE is a sign of efficient financial management, suggesting that the company can produce significant profits relative to the money invested by shareholders. If your shareholders give you money, you must make full use of that money that they have been given. That's what we are saying. Utilize it to the best. Every one dollar must multiply substantially. That's what we are saying here. Okay. I'm not saying that as an organization you should take all these metrics. You can choose some. The larger the organization, the more the metrics that they choose. The smaller you isolate the most important and critical ones. Return on investment, ROI, is a broader measure used to evaluate the financial returns on investment, and it is calculated by dividing the net income, the net return of an investment by its cost. So ROI helps an organization to determine the profitability of a specific project or investment and make informed decisions on whether to pursue or discontinue them. I can now take you to the other one. Operational efficiency. We can now go also in a little more detail. Now, these things, you may ask yourself sometimes, why are we going into detail in these things when in fact us as the HR, it's not our concern. No, it is. Sometimes you see the reason why HR does not command respect, it is when it is void of knowledge of such important matters. These matters that we're talking about here are important that when the HR does not have such knowledge and you take HR and do the boardroom, and if they cannot articulate these matters, it does not get the respect of other functions, particularly like those of finance. So let's look at the key metrics that are used to calculate operational efficiency. So I think that something happened. That's why I'm trying to bring it here. This is also another important measure. We looked at it earlier on as an introduction, not as we go into detail. As an organization, to produce to be productive or to perform accordingly, you must achieve operational efficiency. You must look at labor, equipment, material, and technology. See how these are enabling you to produce results. You must maintain high quality standards, but the critical is that you must reduce cost, you must improve productivity for your performance to be effective. So what do you look at here? You see that you can look at the following metric: production efficiency. This measure how effectively an organization converts raw material and inputs to finished products. You don't want the excessive wastage. Higher production efficiency is achieved when the company produces more output with fewer resources. So you can evaluate this using the following: output per hour, the number of units produced per hour of labor, and this indicates how productive the workforce is and whether operations are running smoothly. You look at capacity utilization. These metrics show how much the organization's production capacity is being used compared to its maximum potential. I'll give you an example. Nation publication. Sometime back, around the 2015, 16, or 17, they're about probably 60. They bought a very good state-of-the-art machinery to print newspapers. And for them to produce the newspapers for the whole day, for one single day of circulation, at that time it only took about an hour. It meant that their machine would only be utilized 1 hour in a day to print newspaper circulation for the next day. Then the rest of the day is the machine is idle. If you examine it from that angle, you realize that then, as a company, that is not good for them in terms of operational efficiency. They are losing out. So they started now calling out for orders, printing textbooks, notebooks, and different other things so that they can use machine to make money. But also, they were looking at giving different jobs to print. Different other jobs to print. So they can make the money. That's what we're referring to say, what is your capacity? Our capacity is that we can produce 10,000 units per day. How much are you producing currently? Currently, we're only producing 2,000 units per day. Now, if you look at the difference, your machinery equipment, your capacity is to produce 10,000, but you can only produce 2,000. You put a gap of 6,000, you're not doing well, isn't it? You're not doing well. But you must push to a point where you will now be able to reach at least 7,000, 8,000 a day with a difference of only 2,000. That is going to be understandable and acceptable. I hope you're hearing what I'm talking about here. Every other production unit has got an estimated capacity that it can produce probably in a single day. The question is, are you utilizing that to the maximum? Because sometimes performance might be just as a result of the ability to utilize that to the maximum. If you cannot, then it puts into question capacity utilization. Cost per unit, where you want to measure the total cost of providing a single unit of a product. It includes the direct cost, raw material and labor, as well as indirect cost, overall expenses such as utilities, rent, and administrative costs. reducing cost per unit without compromising quality is a sign of improved operational efficiency. This is also something else that you must watch, the last statement that I say. Because there is a tendency amongst the many managers to always want to reduce cost per unit, but by affecting quality. I'll give you an example. If you have a machine that requires 5 liters of oil every day to produce the highest quality of products, in the process, if you want to reduce cost, if you decide to give that machine 3 liters of oil, and then you say you're saving on 2 liters, and that is increasing our profit, that is not good. Why? You are actually reducing the lifetime of the machinery. Because the manufacturer of that machinery had estimated that if the machine is going to operate at optimum, and if it is going to be protected in terms of the cooling system of that machine, it must absorb 5 liters. And if you reduce, the machine will operate, yes, but the machine will have a short lifespan because the temperature will not be cooled in accordance with the specification of the manufacturer. There are also cases where, for example, if you look at the group of the biscuit company, Universal. As I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, Universal Industries was one of the best companies that was manufacturing biscuits in this country. And the taste of their biscuits were pretty much the same as that of abroad. The other day this week, I had some activity to do in Area 43. A friend of mine runs consultancy firm, so he had asked me to go and help him do something. So when I knocked off, I passed by. So I was hungry, and before I reached Area 43, the offices where they are located, I stopped by the petrol filling station, opposite Area 30 entrance. You know that one? Yeah. And there's a super there, run by Stan. I went in there on the stand. I had no idea which stand to buy, but then all of a sudden I bought the Google Bar because I had remembered how nice it was in those days when I was young, growing up, buying Google Bar when I came from school. So I said, let me just test it again. But I was saddened that when I tested Google Bar, I would notice that yes, it had the same name and the same brand. In terms of packaging, was the same, but the taste had indicated to me that they had minimized certain ingredients. The original Google Baba and the one that I ate 2 days ago, I would tell that this Google Baba does not have all the necessary ingredients that the previous Google Baba had. That's an example of compromising quality. You are reducing the certain specification. In terms of putting 10 spoons of sugar, you're putting 4. Yes, there will be a biscuit that will come out as Google Baba, but the taste and the quality will be affected. Over time, such kind of arrangement provides a lot of challenges. Such does not help. That's what we are saying here, that your initiatives must not be at the expense of quality. Cycle time. Cycle time refers to the total time it takes to complete a production process, from receiving raw material to delivering the finished product. So reducing cycle time leads to faster production, quicker delivery to customers, and lower holding costs. It also enhances the operational responsiveness to customer demand and market changes. So in simple terms, what we are saying is longer cycle time creates problems in terms of competitiveness compared to shorter cycle time. So in a way, what you're doing at that point is to examine the extent to which you're going to be able to manage your cycle time. And another element of operational efficiency is how much waste are you minimizing? Reducing. Operational efficiency is a significant Operational efficiency is significantly improved by minimizing waste. Okay. You want to ensure that you don't have excess material. You want to make sure that you don't have excess time and energy, labor. So excess material, time, energy, and labor that do not add value to the finished final product or service, you want to reduce it. So it helps to improve operational efficiency. For example, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma that we looked at as initiatives that can assist you to that effect. What I'll do now, I know there are also other details that I can give you. I'm going to give you two. From here, maybe, yeah, there's the employee productivity. Sorry, there's we did that one. Customer satisfaction, innovation and adaptability. You can look at those in a little more detail. Maybe I can even forward them to you. Maybe the details of customer satisfaction. Maybe those ones. I think those ones let me give you. The innovation and adaptability, I may not zero in into too much details. Quality products and services. I think maybe these two, customer satisfaction and quality products and services. Let me zero in a little more detail as I have done with the rest so that you will know these measures because they are very important. The others are also equally important, but the most common ones that I'm looking at are these ones. Especially if you're a small organization, you may not spend more time on the new products. So that's why I just put it in your notes. But the customer satisfaction and the employee product, looked at it already. Customer satisfaction, quality of products and services. And these two, I can zero in more details with these ones. Yeah, for now. Do you have any questions or comments? I go to zero in, especially the measurements. How those can be measured. I think it's very, very important for us to look at it.
Yes, on employee satisfaction, we didn't go into detail. Just mention it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do now. That's what I said. I said that I will zero in on employee satisfaction and the product quality. On innovation, I will not zero in. Maybe I can, since this is the same. Maybe since it's the same. Let me just do all of them so that we finish. Yes, because currently, especially nowadays, issues of productivity, innovation cannot be ignored. But at the bottom line, what we are saying is you must be seriously careful on ensuring that you are maintaining issues that are more related to organizational performance. Your role as an HR will be more relevant if your presence is going to translate into the organization being able to produce better results. Do you have a course for operations management? Here. You have, yeah. You find that some of these things that we're discussing here are in there in ops management. How to calculate them in detail is in ops management. So I'm not leaning more towards letting you know how to calculate in this class. But in this class, I'm referring them to you so that you know these are the things that we use. Sometimes you may not be the one who has to calculate, but you might be the one who alerts the entire system that these are the things that are important that we need to ensure.